those who are sometimes distressed, those who are in need of money, those who are sometimes inquisitive, and those who are sometimes searching after knowledge of the absolute truth. So again, these four. But the problem is, they're in distress, and when they get out of distress, then they forget about God. And what's the other one? Need of money. Money comes and they think, oh, they forget about God. Sometimes inquisitive. Yeah, oh, what are you guys doing? So a little inquisitive, they come and question. But that's still. And they can easily go away. And those who are sometimes searching after knowledge of the absolute truth. And they don't always stay. Because they go, there's a defect here or something. These persons come to the Supreme Lord for devotional service under different conditions. They are not pure devotees. Because they have some aspiration to fulfill in exchange for devotional service. Pure devotional service is without aspiration and without desire for material profit. In the Bhakti Rasa Samhita Sindhu, on 111, the definition is given of pure devotion. Thus, Anyavirasita Sniyam Yana Karma Navikam Anukuyena Krishnano Sirna Bhakti Uttama. So he is a pure devotee. One should render the loving service to the Supreme Lord favorably, without desire for material profit or gain through fruitive activities or philosophical speculation. That is called pure devotional service. So this is our goal. And because the Prophet came, he was encouraging us, yes, you can become like me. The process is open. So our faith in Prabhupada increased, and then we became hopeful. You have to have hope. Not blind hope, but something that will keep us going. Not hope against hope. That's not kind of choice. Hoping against hope. No, we have confidence. That's the qualification, right? We have a little faith, but in the creed we take it to process, and gradually we become confident that this is working. Why are we confident? Because we're getting reciprocation from the Lord. The Lord is dealing with us in such a way to bring us to Him. And He can bring us very quickly. Just like Ajamil. He was in distress. He was crying for his son, not even for God. He was crying for his son, who he had named Ryan. But his cry was so sincere. He was really in distress. His cry was so sincere that when the Yamadutas came to take him, the Vishnudutas stopped. And the Yamadutas were surprised. What's going on? This guy was a sinner. But because he chanted the holy name of the Lord, even not purely, but that was sufficient to keep him from being dragged to the court of Yamaraj. Okay, any questions so far? When these four kinds of pious come to the Supreme Lord for devotional service and are completely purified by the association of pure devotees, they also become pure devotees. It's very important to have association with pure devotees. We have to know how to take association. The example is given of the Bhagavad on the lap of the king. He's associating very closely with the king, but he doesn't benefit from that. So how is the best way to benefit? The best way is to hear from him and take it into our heart and strictly follow. That's called sincere or serious devotee. As far as the mysteries are concerned, for them, devotional service is very difficult because their lives are selfish, irregular, and without spiritual goals. But even some of them, by chance, when they come in contact with a pure devotee, also become pure devotees. So that's the power of purity. But it's not guaranteed. And we have a lot of admiration for Lord Jesus. He was preaching in a difficult time, a difficult place. Look what they did to him. But he was preaching even up to the end. And there were two other on the cross next to him. And one became his disciple, and the other one ridiculed him. So there's no guarantee. Even if you're in distress, you may not turn to God. That's why they're mentioned as pious. The impious, they're distressed, then they blame God. Or they don't think of God. They just think it's fate or destiny, without any intelligence behind it. It's like this Hawkins guy. His wife was a Christian, and she left him because he was so atheistic that she couldn't stand him. So then he died. And what was he thinking about? He was thinking about the Big Bang Theory. He was going to tell us more what caused the Big Bang. Just completely atheistic. No interest in God, even at the time of death. Okay, who wants to read the last paragraph?
Those who are always busy with fruitive activities come to the Lord in material distress, and at the time associate with pure devotees and become, in their distress, devotees of the Lord. Those who are simply frustrated also come sometimes to associate with pure devotees and become inquisitive to know about God. Similarly, when the dry philosophers are frustrated in every field of knowledge, they sometimes want to learn of God, and they come to the Supreme Lord to render devotional service and thus transcend knowledge of the impersonal Brahman and the localized Paramatma, and come to the personal conception of Godhead by the grace of the Supreme Lord, most pure devotee. On the whole, when the distressed, the inquisitive, the seekers of knowledge, and those who are in need of money are free from all material desires, and when they fully understand the material remuneration has nothing to do with spiritual improvement, they become pure devotees. As long as such purified stage is not attained, devotees in transcendental service to the Lord are tainted with fugitive activities, and they search after mundane knowledge, etc. So one has to transcend all this before one can come to the stage of pure devotional service.
Krishna Prabhupada is speaking here from realization. He saw so many people came, the inquisitive, the seekers of knowledge, and so on. So he's able to analyze why they left. Many of them left. That's a fact. I met one who had left. Prabhupada sent me, he gave me an assignment to go to England to help the devotees there because they were grihastas and they wanted a brahmacharya to help train up the new men who were coming. So Prabhupada sent me. And on the way, I was in New York collecting my fare by begging on the street with incense sticks and telling people, my spiritual master sent me to London, I need money for a plane fare. And they would give me $5. I'd give them a stick of incense. Money was done. Then I met one guy, I saw him from a distance, like a hippie guy with his girlfriend. Then he came over to me. He said, I used to be with the Swami. I got initiated too, but now I think the best thing for my head would be to go to California. I think, oh my God, this poor guy. He got initiated.
To go where?
California.
Oh.
He thought it was a spiritual place. That'll be good for my head. And I remember thinking, I don't have to worry what's good for my head. I used to think I did too. What's good? What's the best? You know? Then I just, because now I have faith in God, I'll just do whatever He wants me to do. So He sent me to London. I wasn't thinking of going to London. But I didn't have to worry about it because I had a spiritual master. And I was his dog. And I was happy to do what he told me to do. Go here, go here, okay? But this is the change of heart. You have to give up this idea that I know what's best for myself. You don't know. We've been here time immemorial over here. We don't know. At this point, even initiated by Prabhupada, he was still thinking, I want to go. So Prabhupada had experienced all these people coming, and therefore he can write like this, with authority. He's frustrated by something, and like this, he tells us. Okay, any question, comments? Do you know the verse? Text 17. Samgyani nitya yukta eka bhakti vishishyate priyohi danino tartam aham sarsham mapiya. Translation. Of these, the one who is in full knowledge and who is always engaged in pure devotional service is the best. For I am very dear to him, and he is dear to me. So, this also can be misleading. I met some Gyanis in India. 3 or 4 men, they were serious, but they were Gyanis. And they quoted this verse to support their position. That, we should all become Gyanis. But they didn't read the part about engaged in devotional service. So anyway, their argument was the universal form was God. And they thought that they were finding God by knowledge. What is the verse? 10:10? Who knows?
I don't know the numbers.
Tesham Saratayuktanam the Dami Bhumi.
We know from April.
Dami Bhumi. So the Dami means I give you. We have to get it from Krishna. We can't collect knowledge. That's the scientific method. Collecting knowledge, connecting knowledge, and building up and thinking we're going to come to the truth. No. The truth is a person, and he can decide whether he wants to give us mercy or not. He will decide. If he decides to give us, then nobody can stop. Desham Sarata Yuktanam. Those who are fully engaged in our service. The Dami means I give. Buddhi means intelligence, that they can come to me. So Krishna will give us the intelligence from any position if we're sincere. Doesn't matter what our background is, only qualification is that you're sincere to please Krishna and his representative, his spiritual. Then you may slip, you may fall, but keep that sincerity, keep that seriousness, and Krishna will help you at every step. Report.
Free from all contamination and material desires, the distressed, the inquisitive, the penniless, and the seeker after supreme knowledge can all become pure devotees. But out of them, he who is in knowledge of the absolute truth and free from all material desires becomes a really pure devotee of the Lord. And of the 4 orders, the devotee who is in full knowledge and is at the same time engaged in devotional service is, the Lord says, the best. By searching after knowledge, one realizes that his self is different from his material body, and when further advanced, he comes to the knowledge of impersonal Brahman and Paramatma. When one is fully purified, he realizes that his constitutional position is to be the eternal servant of God. So by association with pure devotees, the inquisitive, the distressed, the seeker after material amelioration, and the man and knowledge all become themselves pure. But in the preparatory stage, the man who is full of knowledge of the Supreme Lord and is at the same time executing devotional service is very dear to the Lord. He who is situated in pure knowledge of the transcendence of the Supreme Personality of Godhead is so protected in devotional service that material contaminations cannot touch him.
So that's what we're aspiring for. We want to come to the point where, even in the face of Maya, we're not disturbed. Because Maya will test us. You really want me, or would you rather have this? Then we have to choose. Okay, any comments, questions? Yeah.
I was here in the class today on the nectar of devotion, and it was saying that Krishna Thakur, he likened bhukti and mukti, like we're hearing in the previous verse.
Right, 15.
There's one who wants moksha, and there's one who wants, artha. And these are described as witches who steal away pure devotion. And I just thought that was interesting that they like it. And then the point was made that actually, I would think personally that mukti, the mukta person who wants mukti is better than one who wants enjoyment. But I was saying that's actually not so, because the one who gets mukti is lost in that. Like Prabhupada would say, like spiritual suicide. But one who wants enjoyment, they stay in samsara and they get a chance to meet someday a pure devotee and get the real thing.
Where they've already met. Anyway, that's a good point, yeah. That we can learn from our mistakes. It's not surprising that there's some fall down from this to a level. I mean, we're talking about in the material world. But if we pick ourselves up like we get the example of a child learning how to walk, then we can go forward, even when we slip. Then the second time we might be more careful not to slip. We can learn from our mistakes. Sometimes we say that. Failure is the pillar of success. Something that you stand on. Okay, yeah, I understand. I failed here, I'm not going back that way. I want to go up. I take the next step. So that's one way to learn. I mean, it's a hard knocks, because Maya will crush us. But if we're stalwart, we'll take it as a lesson and go forward. You know? You want more? We have time.
Yeah, we have plenty of time.
It's 18. You want to do it all together? 18, you have it?
Yep.
Udara sarvadevate
Jnani Tvatma Buddhivakam Asita Sahiyuktatva
Translation. All these devotees are undoubtedly magnanimous souls, but he who is interested in knowledge of me, I consider to be just like myself. Being engaged in my journey for service, he is sure to attain me, the highest and most perfect goal. Okay? Good work, go ahead.
Report. It is not that other devotees who are less complete in knowledge are not dear to the Lord. The Lord says that all are magnanimous, because anyone who comes to the Lord for any purpose is called a Mahatma, or a great soul. The devotees who want some benefit out of devotional service are accepted by the Lord because there is an exchange of affection. Out of affection, they ask the Lord for some material benefit. And when they get it, they become so satisfied that they also advance in devotional service. But the devotee in full knowledge is considered to be very dear to the Lord, because his only purpose is to serve the Supreme Lord with love and devotion. Such a devotee cannot live a second without contacting or serving the Supreme Lord. Similarly, the Supreme Lord is very fond of his devotee and cannot be separated from him. In the
Let's stop for a second. Any comments on this paragraph?
Yes, I think it's interesting that it's saying that they're all Mahatma, and that because I've heard that, like, so the person desiring something from the Lord in exchange for their service might go away after they get it. If somebody's just worshiping the Lord for some money or something, then they get it, and they go away, but God is looking at their own heart, and but still, the one who serves simply for the purpose of serving is better. Could you say something about that to clarify?
But the devotees in full knowledge. In other words, what's that full knowledge? That God is great and not small. That's the first one. If we don't have that knowledge, then we will think I can become God or something. No, there's always the master, the servant, and the exchange. Three things are there. Not everything is one. These three things are eternal. Devotional service is eternal, the living entity is eternal, and God is eternal. So we can go on eternally with our devotional service. That's real knowledge. Okay, go ahead. Srimad Bhagavatam.
In the Srimad Bhagavatam, Canto 9, Chapter 4, Text 57, the Lord says, Aham Bhakta Parihino Ya Ashvatantra Iva Dija Sadhudir Prastha Hridayo Bhaktir Bhakta Janabhya. The devotees who are always in my heart, the devotees are always in my heart, and I am always in their heart, and I am always in the heart of the devotees. The devotee does not know anything beyond me, and I also cannot forget the devotee. There is a very intimate relationship between me and the pure devotees. Pure devotees in full knowledge are never out of spiritual touch, and therefore they are very much dear to me.
So now is Prabhupada's position, and he's talking about it. He understands he got first-hand experience. But your Sanskrit was different than mine.
I might have just messed it up or something.
The verse
These are the original.
Sarabo Hidayam Mayam Sarunum Hidayam Aham Maranyatena Jananti Naham Divyo Mangam Ati. It's different.
Yeah. Well, this is the unedited, and on database is edited.
Because the verses they are given, 9, what is it? 9:468.
So maybe the verse.
67 you have?
57.
I should have read from this one. That's okay. I was reading from the book, and yeah. See here, it's.
Sarabo Hidayam Mayam. Okay, anyway, I knew there was something wrong. So because I looked up in the Bhagavatam, 9:468. Any other comments, questions? We've time for one more, yes? 7:19. This is an important one. Bhavanam Yanamamante Yanamamam Prapadyate Vasudeva Sarvamiti Samahama Sadhurabha. So Prabhupada quotes this verse a lot. Translation. After many births and deaths, he was actually in knowledge, surrendered them to me.
Such a great soul is very rare.
This is the goal. You want to surrender fully to the Lord. It may take many births of jnana, but in devotional service we can come very quickly. Prabhupada bringing us immediately. If we accept Him, if we accept to be guided by Him, we can immediately become Vasudeva Sarvamiti. Understanding that there's nothing but Krishna. That He's the cause of all causes. Doesn't have to take many births and deaths. This is talking about the jnana. Prabhupada is bringing us immediately to devotional service. Go on the street, chant Hare Krishna. Take care of the deity. This is immediately devotional service. We're fortunate. we meet such a pure devotee who can engage us without having to spend many, many births, like this verse is told. If the many births of death. Why so many births of death? And the Prabhupada, we can do it, I'll finish up in this life. Prabhupada was encouraging us, yeah. We're finishing this life.
The living entity, while executing devotional service or transcendental rituals, after many births, may actually become situated in transcendental pure knowledge that the Supreme Personality of Godhead is the ultimate goal of spiritual realization. In the beginning of spiritual realization, while one is trying to give up one's attachment to materialism, there is some leaning towards impersonalism. But when one is further advanced, we can understand that there are activities in the spiritual life.
That there are activities.
That there are activities in the spiritual life, and that these activities constitute devotional service. Realizing this, he becomes attached to the Supreme Personality of Godhead and surrenders to Him. At such a time, one can understand that Lord Sri Krishna's mercy is everything, that He is the cause of all causes, and that this material manifestation is not independent from Him. He realizes the material world to be a perverted reflection of spiritual variegatedness, and realizes that in everything there is a relationship with the Supreme Lord Krishna. Thus he thinks of everything in relation to Vasudeva, or Sri Krishna. Such a universal vision of Vasudeva precipitates one's full surrender to the Supreme Lord Sri Krishna as the highest goal. Such surrendered great souls are very rare.
Okay, so we met such a rare soul. We're very fortunate to have met him. But this important point that there are activities in the spiritual life, spiritual activities that are going on eternally. So this is what the impersonalists don't have. This is what the atheists don't know. Therefore, sometimes we say the impersonalism is a covered atheism, because they think they have no clue of what God does, or they can't imagine that He has activities. Even the Muslims, Christians can come to that. Fall victim to that. We should ask them. So you believe in God, right? What does God do during the day? Let's ask them. We see these creatures every day.
Yeah.
Yeah. You believe in God, right? What does He do? Sits on the clouds? You don't have information. But this is their highest, the exchange with the Lord, or the Lord's activities. Like we take pleasure reading Krishna books. Krishna is doing so many things, wonderful things. Then we can love Him. How can you love if you don't know what the person is, what he looks like, or what he does? So therefore it leads to fanaticism. Christ is the only way. You're going to hell. The one guy by himself, right? And he's screaming. You saw him yesterday, right?
Oh yeah, on the pedestal.
Yeah.
Yeah. They're pretty wild.
You can't really convince them. But maybe these others are what, Jehovah's Witnesses?
Yeah, the fountain. Yeah,
That have this little stand.
yeah.
They're
They're pretty
vegetarian.
passive.
Huh?
They're pretty passive. They just stand there and
Okay, then what are we doing next? Did we finish the purple or not?
no, it's still going.
This verse is very nicely explained in the 3rd chapter, verse 14 and 15 of the Shvetashvatara Upanishad. Sahasra Shirsha Purusha Sahasraksha Sahasrapad Sabhumi Vishvato Vritva Tyatishta Dashankulam Purusha Evidam Sarvam Yatrutam Yaschabhavyam Utamrita Tvasyeshano Yad Anina Tirohati. Translation. Lord Vishnu has thousands of heads, thousands of eyes, and thousands of feet, entirely encompassing the whole universe. He still extends beyond it by 10 fingers breadth. He is in fact this entire universe. He is all that was and all that will be. He is the Lord of immortality and of all that is nourished by food. In the Chandogya Upanishad 5.115, it is said, Navai vacho na chakshushmi, nashrot prani namana namsi, chakshute prana iti eva chakshute prana yufai tani sarvani bhavanti. In the body of a living being, neither the power to speak, nor the power to see, nor the power to hear, nor the power to think is the prime factor. It is life which is the center of all activities. Similarly, Lord Vasudeva, or the personality of Godhead, Lord Sri Krishna, is the prime entity in everything. In this body, there are powers of speaking, of seeing, of hearing, of mental activities, etc. But these are not more important if not related to the Supreme Lord. And because Vasudeva is all-pervading, and everything is Vasudeva, the devotee surrenders in full knowledge. Cf. Bhagavad Gita 7:17 and 11:40.
Well, we just read 7:17. What about 11:40? Let's read that.
Next.
Eleven 40, right? I got it. Text 40. Namah prasadat artha pratashtate namostate sarvata eva sarva ananta vivyatita vikramastavam sarvam sanosi tato sisarvaha. Translation: the base is into you from the front, from behind, from all sides. O unbound power, you are the master of limitless might. You are all-pervading, and thus you are everything. Nothing outside of God. Within that oneness, there's variety. Very simple. A candle is one, but it has two energies. God is one, but he has multi-energies. Okay? We can put one more verse. Time to stop. Any comments, question? Everybody's hungry? What time is Michelle?
Usually just milk, but whatever's left over, everybody's can have.
There's only milk at night, huh?
Yeah.
Okay. Okay, so we're leaving it at
27, 20 years.
7:20. We didn't do 20, we did 19, huh?
Yeah, that's what
Well, we could do 20. This is it. We meet these Hindus. We met some nice girl today from Nepal. Should have got her contact information. We gave her a card, but she says she has a lot of friends, and they know about Krishna. She was chatting with us for a second. When she was working. Okay, quickly we'll do this last verse. Kamasthaistraya pita jnana apadyante devataha antam nimam asthaya prakritiya yatasvaya. Translation: those whose intelligence has been stolen by material desires surrender unto demigods and follow the particular rules and the regulations of worship according to their own nature.
Those who are free from all material contaminations surrender unto the Supreme Lord and engage in his devotional service. As long as the material contaminations are not completely washed off, they are by nature non-devotees. But even those who have material desires and who resort to the Supreme Lord are not so much attracted by external nature. Because of approaching the right goal, they soon become free from all material lust. In the Srimad Bhagavatam, it is recommended that whether one is a pure devotee and is free from all material desires, or is full of material desires, or desires liberation from material contamination, he should in all cases surrender to Vasudeva and worship him, as stated in the Bhagavatam 2.3.10.
Kamasavakama Moshama Udarati Tivrena Bhakti Yogena Dehetushtam Param.
Less intelligent people who have lost their spiritual sense take shelter of demigods for immediate fulfillment of material desires. Generally, such people do not go to the Supreme Personality of God, because they are in the lower modes of nature, ignorance and passion, and therefore worship various demigods. Following the rules and regulations of worship, they are satisfied. The worshippers of demigods are motivated by small desires and do not know how to reach the supreme goal. But a devotee of the Supreme Lord is not misguided, because in Vedic literature there are recommendations for worshiping different gods for different purposes. E.g., a diseased man is recommended to worship the sun. Those who are not devotees of the Lord think that for certain purposes demigods are better than the Supreme Lord. But a pure devotee knows that the Supreme Lord Krishna is the master of all. In the Chaitanya Charitamrita, Adi 5.142, it is said, Ekale Ishvara Krishna, Adashtava Pritya. Only the Supreme Personality of Godhead, Krishna, is master, and all others are servants. Therefore, a pure devotee never goes to demigods for satisfaction of his material needs. He depends on the Supreme Lord, and the pure devotee is satisfied with whatever he gets.
Jai Shri Prabhupada. Good? We'll stop here now. Everybody be the key. So tomorrow we start at what verse? 21. Thank you, Bharat.